Guild Wars 2 has released a new strike mission, Old Lion's Court. It's a pretty fun fight, but with very high pressure on players when it comes to positioning and being aware of mechanics and attack patterns. The fight composes of 3 Watchwork Knight bosses, each with their own mechanics and attacks, so let's get into the fight. Before the fight starts, you should know that tanking is proximity based. So the closest person to the boss when it is spawned or when it turns vulnerable will get the fixated icon, which will be red, blue or green, corresponding to the boss that is currently attacking. The first of 3 enemies is the prototype Vermilion, or as we call it, Red. CC is not needed for this first phase, as CC only inverts the impact area of the damage side. The first mechanic you will encounter is Red's special attack. The Red Watch Knight will have a circle telegraph around it, with white arrows telling you where to go. If it is pointing outside, you go outside the circle. If it is inside, you stay inside. The first one is always safe both inside and outside. If someone does not follow this, for each person not following it, a shockwave will release, damaging all players. This can deal heavy damage if many miss the mechanic, so try to be alert and see which way the arrows are pointing. Red's attack pattern goes like this. He slashes once, he slashes twice, and then he AoE slams. It spawns a red pool every other attack. So Red's pattern goes like this. White arrow special attack, slash slash, AoE slam with pool, then slash slash, AoE slam without pool, and then it repeats. Whenever a pool mechanic is being done, there is an audio cue that sounds like this. Red sound is heard by everyone. DPS red until 80% to phase it. The next Watch Knight is prototype Arsonite, or as we will call it, Green. Green's special attack is similar to Doom's pull mechanic, in which he starts to pull you in and it deals damage periodically. The closer you are, the more damage it does. Try to get as far as possible, as damage done is proximity based. If it sucks you into the red area, you will get the exposed debuff. Green's red pull mechanic is a tether. All pulls follow the same pattern on all bosses. Special attack, 2 attacks, then pull. 2 attacks without pull, then repeat, just like red. Green is a melee champ, so he will hit, then throw pull. Green tethers to a person and throws a pull at them in the form of a ring-looking projectile. The person that gets the green tether will hear the pull cue sound that I showed you before, so pay attention for the sound. You want to move away from the group as quickly as possible. The ring then ricochets back into the group, dealing some damage. DPS green until 80%. The next Watch Knight is prototype Indigo, or as we call it, Blue. It is a ranged champ. Stay as close as possible to this boss because he is the opposite of green. His special attack pushes you out, and the closer you are, the less damage you take from its lightning attacks. Same pattern follows. 2 attacks from his staff, which are the blue lightning tethers you see shocking you on other players. I believe it can chain between players. So 2 attacks, then pull mechanic. This pull mechanic is also a tether. 3 players at random will get chosen. And if you get this, you will see your screen surrounded with a blue border. Move away from your teammates to avoid damaging them, however this does very little damage. But the reason you move away is because of the pull mechanic. At the end of the telegraph, one of the 3 players gets a tether. At the impact location is gonna be their guild tag. After a few seconds, a pool will drop under the player, and they will be teleported back to their original position of impact, leaving the pool behind. So if you get this tether after the initial 3 targeted attack, you will want to move away from the group, drop the pool, and you will be teleported safely back to your guild tag. DPS blue until 80%. Next comes the first mandatory CC phase. It is a puzzle similar to the bombs at Aetherblade Hideout Strike. CC the right Watch Knight to create a safe space. The order is always green, then red, then blue. So for this first phase, CC green to create a safe spot around red. If you CC the wrong boss, the other bosses become untargetable and therefore he will wipe. After this CC phase and standing in the safe area, phase 2 of the fight starts. Red will slam down at the center. Stay out of this area, otherwise you will insta-die. Its attack pattern will follow. Green also comes down and starts to charge. Decide on whether or not you want to CC him. Most likely you will be in a safe area. After this attack, green goes away. Continue fighting red until 40%. The next vulnerable boss will be green. His attack pattern follows. Blue also comes down. Again, decide on whether or not you want to CC him, depending on the safe space that you have. DPS green until 40%. Blue comes down and its attack pattern follows. Stay close to the boss to avoid heavy damage. Red comes down. Again, decide on whether or not you want to CC it. DPS blue until 40%. Next is the second mandatory CC phase. CC red to create a safe space behind blue. Phase 3 then begins. Red will come down and so does green. One of them vulnerable and the other invulnerable, but they both do their attack patterns, so this means juggling 2 pool mechanics and also juggling 2 regular attack patterns. In addition to this, the third knight will also come down and charge like the previous ones, deciding on whether or not you want to CC it for the safe space. DPS red until 10% while juggling all these mechanics. At 10%, red goes away and green becomes vulnerable. Blue then comes down and it is now green and blue attacking. The same mechanics happen here. Juggle both greens and blues attacks while managing pools. Red comes down and charges. Again, decide if you want to CC him for the safe space. DPS green until 10%. Blue then becomes vulnerable, and red will come down to attack. Blue follows its attack patterns, with red fighting alongside. Juggle the patterns of red and blue, and DPS blue until 10%. Then comes the final mandatory CC phase. CC blue to create a safe space at red. Then the last phase, phase 4, begins. All knights return down, and all knights are attacking. Red is vulnerable first, and the others are not. Here, you need to juggle every mechanic from every watch knight, until you DPS down each vulnerable one at a time. DPS until all knights are dead and the fight is over. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to the channel if I've helped you, and so you can catch my new videos whenever I make one. Thank you again. Have a good one. Until you DPS down each vulnerable